Some houses don't want to scare you. They want to rewrite you, quietly, patiently, until you can't prove they ever did. This is Whisperloop. Tap like, subscribe, and comment the one detail you'd hate to forget. Because forgetting is the easiest door to open. We bought the place because it was a bargain, and because the listing used a word that makes sensible people greedy. Unoccupied. It was a small property on the edge of town, old timber and fresh paint, renovated just enough to look clean in photos. The agent joked about good bones, and the owner avoided eye contact like someone selling a secret. My partner Aya loved it instantly. I liked the logic. Good location, low price, quick move-in. On the first night, the air smelled like new plaster and old wood. The rooms were quiet in that careful way, quiet that doesn't feel restful, only restrained. At 1:40 a.m., Aya woke me by sitting upright. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. I listened, a soft sound in the hallway, like fingertips brushing a wall. Then a gentle tap. Not a knock, more like someone testing whether the house still had skin. I turned on a lamp. The sound stopped immediately. We blamed settling timber. We blamed pipes. We blamed stress. Then the house began correcting us. It started with small errors. I put my keys on the entry shelf and find them in the kitchen drawer. Aya would hang a photo frame straight. The next day it would be slightly tilted toward the hallway. A glass would appear on the counter still wet, as if someone had rinsed it and forgotten to wipe. Nothing dramatic, just enough to make you question whether you were paying attention. The third night we heard a voice. Not loud, not angry. A polite voice from the hallway, speaking in a cadence too even to be normal. "Please don't," it said. Aya froze. "Who's there?" I called. Silence. Then the voice again, same tone, same volume, as if it had only one recorded line. "Please don't." Aya's hands trembled. "It's repeating," she whispered. We didn't call the police, we called the renovation manager. He came the next day with a strained smile, and the kind of impatience that suggests he'd heard this before. "Old houses make noise," he said. Aya stared him down. "Old houses don't speak," she replied. He sighed, then admitted he knew someone. A specialist, not a contractor, not a priest. A man who handled stubborn atmosphere. That phrase should have made me run. Instead, I booked him. He arrived at dusk, wearing plain clothes and carrying a satchel that clinked softly. He didn't ask about our experiences first. He asked for the floor plan. When I handed it over, he studied it, then tapped a finger against one corner. "Your hallway ends wrong," he said. "It ends at the bedroom," I replied. He shook his head. "On paper, yes." He opened his satchel and removed thin paper talismans, a small bowl of salt, and a bell that looked older than the house. Aya watched, arms crossed. "Will it work?" He looked at her carefully. "It will change where the problem sits," he said. "That's not an answer," I muttered. "It's the only honest one," he replied. He placed talismans at the four corners of the hallway and told us a rule. "While I work, do not speak to it," he said. "If it repeats, ignore. If it asks, ignore. If it uses your voice, ignore. You do not negotiate with something that only knows one sentence." Aya swallowed, and after, his eyes were tired. "After, you will want to believe it's over. That's when you become useful." He rang the bell once. The house felt like it inhaled. Then he began. He didn't chant. He didn't shout. He moved slowly down the hallway, placing talismans and murmuring words too soft to catch. The air grew colder. The lights didn't flicker, but the shadows deepened, as if the house was trying to hide parts of itself. From the hallway, the polite voice repeated, "Please don't." Again, "Please don't." Same exact tone. Aya clenched her fists. The specialist never looked up. He flicked salt in a thin line across the threshold of our bedroom. The voice paused. Then it tried something else. It spoke in Aya's voice, soft, strained. "Please don't," it said. But now it sounded like her speaking from another room. Aya's face drained of color. The specialist raised the bell and rang it once sharper. The hallway temperature snapped back to normal. The voice fell silent. For the first time in days, the house felt empty. Aya exhaled like she'd been underwater. The specialist gathered his things. "It's done?" I asked. He didn't smile. "Moved where?" Aya demanded. He looked at us both, eyes steady. Into the only place it can hide without being seen, he replied. He tapped his chest lightly. Into you. I laughed too fast. That's ridiculous. The specialist stepped toward the door. You'll know soon, he said, when the house starts correcting your memory instead of your keys. He left. The first day afterward felt good. No tapping, no voice, no wrong place objects. We celebrated quietly. Then Aya asked me, why didn't we meet the agent's assistant, the one with the scar? I frowned. There wasn't an assistant. Aya looked certain. Yes, there was. She gave us tea. I stared at her. Aya, I was there. Nobody gave us tea. Aya's expression tightened. Don't gaslight me. I'm not, I said, and realized I sounded defensive. We checked our move-in photos. In one picture behind Aya, near the hallway, a woman stood half out of frame. A plain face, a faint smile, a thin scar along her cheek. Aya's lips parted. See? My stomach dropped. I didn't remember her, but the camera did. That night I woke to the polite voice, inside my own head. Please don't, it said, not as sound, as a thought that arrived fully formed, calm, reasonable. I sat up, heart pounding. Aya stared at me. You heard it? She whispered. I nodded. We went to the hallway. It looked normal, but when I stood there I couldn't remember which door led to the bathroom. I knew the answer. I should have. Yet the house had removed that detail like erasing pencil. Aya touched my wrist. Don't fight it, she whispered, and her voice sounded like it belonged to someone older. I turned. Aya's eyes were open, but she looked absent. Her mouth moved in the same even cadence. Please don't, she said. I stepped back, cold flooding my ribs. Aya blinked, suddenly herself again. What? She asked. Why are you looking at me like that? I didn't answer, because I understood the specialist's warning. It hadn't left. It had learned a better hiding place, a place where it could repeat its sentence through our mouths, and if anyone accused us, we'd sound paranoid. So we made new rules. We wrote them down. We photographed them. We told each other every morning the map of the house, which door, which drawer, which memory, because the house had stopped tapping walls. It had started editing proof. If you ever cleanse a place and it suddenly feels better, pay attention. Sometimes better only means the problem has moved closer. Like, subscribe, and comment if you've ever lost a memory and found it somewhere you didn't put it. This is Whisper Loop.